Hello, Snoopnuts. I'm the animator reviewer. What the hell happened to Nickelodeon? Remember when seeing that Splatoon-looking logo meant that you were going to get something good? Something new, inventive, and all around fantastic. Now you see that logo and you wait to see if it's Avatar. Then finding out that it's not, and running for the hills! What the flying fuck happened to the kids' aisle of television? Well, different people will give you different dates and reasons. Most will cite the SpongeBob episode Atlantis Grapantis and the realization that even if it's lazy and terrible, children will still eat it up like Hot Pockets. And that's where Fairly OddParents comes in. First airing in 2001, the same year as Invader Zim. Guess which one lasted longer? Fairly OddParents follows the life of Timmy Turner, a boy who, you know what? Just let the theme song tell ya.
Timmy is an average kid that no one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving him commands. Doom and gloom up in his room is broken instantly. Finds magic little fish who grab his every wish. Cause in reality they are his odd parents, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes, he just found magical fairies in his room because his real parents are too stupid to realize that someone who owns a chainsaw might not be the best choice for a babysitter. Personally, I've always trusted Freddy Krueger to watch over my child. And these magical fairies are named Cosmo, the stupid one, and Wanda, the naggy one. And together, they can grant to me whatever his heart desires. Thank God he's only 10. If he was a teenager, this would be a much different show. For the most part, this was one of the good Nick shows, being both different and inventive with not only its premise, but also its execution. It came at a time before Breadwinners and whatever Dan Schneider's new show is. It was still allowed to be funny, intuitive, and, most importantly, fantastic. But, just like SpongeBob, it was too good for its own good. Fairly OddParents then ran for a long time. Hell, it's still running. This series ran for so long that it hit the terrible half of the Nickelodeon lifespan, becoming a piece of shit like the rest of Nick. Except for Avatar, that's still awesome. But unlike everything else on the channel, Fairly OddParents' downfall was just how long it kept on going. Unless you're Trey Parker and Matt Stone, at some point you're going to run out of ideas. And we see this happen to the best of shows, from Family Guy to The Simpsons to even Saturday Night Live. At some point, they all ran out of ideas and started sucking. Once you hit this point, you only have 3 options. Either you A, quit while you're ahead like Seinfeld, B, keep on doing the same shit hoping that will be funny, like Adam Sandler's career, or C, introduce a baby like the Brady Bunch. They chose the last one. Enter Fairly OddBaby, an uninteresting, unfunny, and terrible introduction to a baby character that's just like the episode he came from, just to convince the audience that they're not out of ideas when clearly they ran out long ago. Both the episode and the baby mentioned have been the main blame for the downfall of such a great show. But does it deserve that reputation? Well, let's take a look at the Fairly OddParents' Fairly OddBaby. The episode starts out at Dimsdale Park where some great balls for the children are going on.
Where? You're right, Wanda. This is the cutest one yet.
I wish I had another parachute.
Remember, kids, if you're skydiving and your parachute malfunctions, don't worry. You'll be just fine. Viacom says so. Like I said, Cosmo poofs away to look at some babies with Wanda. Yay! Priorities! You know, I get that these scenes are supposed to show how Cosmo and Wanda want a child, but all I can think about is why all these parents are laying these radioactive dogs near their babies. Well, that and how would these two make for good parents when they can't even watch their own godchild?
Oh, do you like the weird pink and green dogs? Then Mommy will get you some because you're Mommy's precious little baby. And I can't imagine why any couple wouldn't want to have their very own baby.
Okay, that's problem number 1 with this. The message is sending. With the way the episode is structured, it's hard not to think that the writers are trying to push the importance of reproduction upon children. Believe it or not, there are some people who just don't want any, and some who shouldn't have any. I'm not saying that's what the writers intended, but that subtext is still there. We cut back to Timmy's fairies being irresponsible while watching him. All I am saying is that if this was real life, those two would be out of the job. And probably being caught for manslaughter. At some point, Timmy crashes through his roof to find Wanda knitting booties and Cosmo wearing a diaper. I have a theory that those two want a kid. I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm onto something.
Look at you guys. You're knitting booties and Cosmo's wearing a diaper. Okay, he wears them all the time. But now you're knitting booties.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Why would Wanda want a baby? You'd think that Cosmo will be more than enough. If anything, isn't Timmy kind of already their child? Because God knows his actual parents are practically useless.
Don't say the B word!
Biatch? Okay, if you haven't guessed it yet, I know, this show can be very subtle sometimes. Cosmo and Wanda want a baby.
If you love babies so much, then stop being babies and just have a baby of your own.
I'm pretty sure that's not as simple as just have one. As it turns out, I'm right! It's not that simple. When the last Fairly OddBaby was born, which is Cosmo, he caused so much trouble in Fairy World that now it's illegal for them to reproduce.
Fairies live forever, so there's really no need for us to have babies of our own.
Yeah, how about to get more human children in need their own Fairly OddParents? After all, I don't remember seeing a kid from the Middle East with one. So, after much debate, Timmy comes up with the ingenious idea to just wish up a baby. After checking the rules, they find that their boss Jorgen forgot to add that one in. Hey look, a Deus Ex Machina! They even had to double check the rules to make sure.
No wishing yourself into a fairy, no wishing someone back to life, no Tom Cruise.
We don't need Top Gun 2. Yet.
You win this round, Timmy Turner, but be warned, you have no
Idea what I've wished for. Blah, blah, bad idea, blah, blah, consequences.
Man, even Timmy's used to the same old shtick. So Timmy gets to make his wish, only to find that not much happened. After Jorgen gives them another stereotypical speech and sends them back to Timmy's bedroom, they find that Cosmo got pregnant. Okay. Care to explain?
Everybody knows it's the boy fairy that has the baby.
There are so many issues with that. I need to take this one problem at a time. For one, writers, why do you insist on confusing your audience, which is mostly children, by the way? 2, Timmy wished for a baby, not for one of his Fairly Odd parents to be pregnant. Shouldn't you guys just have a child rather than having to go through this whole process? And 3, what do you mean everybody knows? Don't mock him because you two were too ignorant to have already taught him how this works. But at least they make up for it by talking about the Bee Gees.
When the Bee Gees recorded Saturday Night Fever, everybody loved them. Then there was a backlash. Too much Bee Gees, they said.
I guess that's just what kids nowadays are into. I did not know this. This literally has so little to do with anything that Timmy sums up my thoughts pretty well in one line.
Who cares?
Seeing how Cosmo is pregnant, he gets morning sickness atop Timmy's head. Man, all this barf is reminding me of what I'm watching right now. Along with his morning sickness, he also endures weird cravings.
You ate my vintage baseball cards?
Yep. And by the way, Daryl's strawberry doesn't taste like strawberry.
And weird mood swings.
It's a beautiful sunshiny day. It makes me want to sing. La 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 la. Why did you do this to me? Look at me. I'm fat.
I feel like the story brought to this episode came from a disgruntled writer with a pregnant wife.
Hopefully there won't be any more surprises. What? Surprise!
Ah, I need an adult! As it turns out, everyone's here for the fairy baby shower in his bathroom since that's the most private place in the house. I'd argue that his bedroom has never given him any trouble, but Cosmo's mother would just slap me with some logic.
Hello, baby? Shower? Must I draw you a picture?
Also, a fairy's baby magic is so strong and unstable that it can be used for evil and whatnot, prompting Jorgen to turn into Donald Trump.
Now let's all have a good time!
As it turns out, it's tradition for the godchild, in this case Timmy, to be treated like a red-headed stepchild and prepare everything for the baby shower. Why wasn't everything already prepared before everyone showed up? Hell, you guys are magical fairies! Just poof up whatever you need!
Anything but the Bee Gees. Too much Bee Gees.
And what's with all these Bee Gees references? Do they serve any point at all? Are you going to pity me and start playing the Sgt. Pepper's movie instead of this crap? Why are they here? Starting to have enough of this. Trust me, I'm getting there myself. Timmy decides that this was the last straw.
Actually, Tanner, you're out of straws.
I just realized how little I've actually laughed at this episode from a comedic show! So Timmy wishes for Cosmo to just get lost. It's about time. But my celebration ends short when they actually have to go looking for the sucker, because if the baby falls into the wrong hands, its magic can be used for evil. You'd think that someone would care about Cosmo, but no, the baby.
It could be so dangerous that I'd have to invent a new word.
Jafragasta.
Yeah, there you go. So after a quick Aladdin ripoff, they head on out to look for Cosmo and the baby.
He's not at the arcade. Strength factory, negative also.
He's not in Fairy World or in his room, which is ready for him any time he decides to leave Wonder.
But he's not in the TARDIS.
He's not in Ponyville.
He's not on my Bee Gees album.
He's not in Rio, but I'll keep looking.
My God, look at those clips. They look even more green screen than mine. After a few hours of looking for the bastard, Timmy comes up with the obvious answer of searching some different worlds.
Patio World, Mattress World, World News Tonight, Anti-Fairy World, Pixie World.
Strange Pornos world? And after only looking for a couple of different worlds, they come up to the conclusion that he must be at anti-fairy world. Why couldn't he just be at Mattress World? Or better yet, Strange Pornos world? But no, he must have been captured by the anti-fairies, fairies who are the exact opposite of the normal fairy counterparts. I'd say it's smart to look at anti-fairy world because the anti-Wanda must be pregnant, but when they get there, nobody is expecting. And the really weird part is that there is still an anti-baby who appears in later episodes without any introduction. Also, you'd think that they'd use the anti-baby for universal domination, but no. So this plot point is kind of just stupid more than anything else. But yeah, the camera teleports to anti-cosmo's lair, where all the anti-fairies are coming up with ideas to take over the universe.
Of course.
I said universe, not world.
I was thinking we could get like a big elephant and have us step on some stuff.
Yeah, but elephants are ugly. As you'd expect, the three Yoko Onos, oh shit, I should have used that in my last review, burst in and spill the beans of the baby's existence, and the anti-fairies react as expected.
What's this? Cosmo is having a fairy baby whose uncontrollable magic we can use to take over the universe?
No.
They deduce that Cosmo must be at Pixie's world, so the camera teleports there and... Wait a minute. This is just the same scene, isn't it?
We could get a big elephant and have it step on stuff.
Freeze, Pixies!
Cosmo's having a fairy baby, and we can use his/her undeveloped magic for universal domination?
No.
It is just the same scene. Why did you make the same scene twice? Were you really that short on time? I'm just gonna fast forward to this. After a bit of thinking, something the writers clearly forgot about, they realize where Cosmo must be.
All I did was tell him to get lost. You don't think?
Sonic Lost World? Nope, he's in the great outdoors. You think that he'd be somewhere the audience might be able to guess, like Lost World or something stupid like that, but no, the great outdoors it is. And after some making up, it's about time for the baby to arrive. Jesus, Magical Mystery Cure has better pacing than this. No, something that pissed off my audience. It's paced like Crusaders of the Lost Mark. Yeah. So they rush to the hospital to have a Grey's Anatomy doctor deliver their baby.
Everything's looking fantastic. On me.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. No, of course the writers don't show child delivery on a kid's show. Hell, even HBO probably wouldn't touch that. Instead, Timmy just wishes the baby out, which begs the question that if Timmy can wish the baby out, why can't he just wish the three of them somewhere safe and shit starts going down? And it's here where we see why this episode even exists. This is Poof, the first of both of the fairy babies we'll see in this series. Now, fans are very split on whether or not they like Poof. On one hand, he's proof that the writers are out of ideas, creates disasters 24/7, and only brings about terrible episodes, but on the other, well, he's voiced by Bubbles. So there's that. Yeah, Poof is pretty much universally hated. It's honestly astonishing that the show is still able to bring in the ratings to go on after his introduction. But because this episode rushes more than Rebecca Black, it takes less than half of a minute for the twerp to be captured by the anti-fairies, and then less than half of a minute for the pixies to then get a hold of him. Then a tiny bit longer for him to be then taken by Cosmo's mother. Man, this kid's better at being kidnapped than a superhero's non-super girlfriend. Through an idea so stupid that I refuse to acknowledge it, everyone finds the kid, so they escape by... Yeah, I'll give you a "you tried" sticker. Which makes the baby laugh, unleashing its magic by teleporting them just outside the hospital room. I'm taking away your sticker. Instead of wishing up something logical, Timmy wishes for a rocket-powered stroller. Cue the Benny Hill music!
When we can fly?
Actually, that's a good point. Why are you guys in jets? We then get to... Okay, here's a really dumb point. Instead of wishing to go home and have the stroller keep going to throw everyone off, they hide in a dark, scary forest, which unsurprisingly scares Poof into crying, where we learn that his magic is powered by his emotions. If he laughs, something good happens, so if he cries, their location is given off to everybody. Now, this might make sense, like joy equals good and sad equals bad. That is until the thing burps creating lightning, which makes absolutely no sense, but whatever. The obvious thing to do is either wish out of there or tickle the fucker into doing something good. But instead, Cosmo, Wanda, a fake Timmy, and a fake baby run off while Timmy and the real baby go home. Now, before you say, there's no point in having decoys seeing how they're not planning on getting caught, and no one would trust Timmy to watch anything that isn't a TV. They do. And they do. This is stupid. It's dumb. It wouldn't even fly in a regular episode of a pre-K show, let alone a special for cartoon that's for all ages. This is stupid, stupid, stupid. We cut back to Timmy taking care of the bugger. So, Tara Strong is watching Tara Strong. When suddenly they run into Timmy's parents, who confuse the baby bottle for a sports drink and the baby for a toy. It is truly a miracle that Timmy was able to survive so long without his godparents. Or a curse, either one. And we also learn that Poof can grant Timmy's wishes. Even though he doesn't have a wand, and past episodes have gone on about how fairies can't grant wishes without their wands. You know what? I'm just going to assume nothing in this special makes any sense. Especially this electric razor that Timmy just has for some reason. But as they're walking, the squirt makes it start raining ice cream, which is fine and dandy until he starts crying and... Holy shit, it's a Shadow of the Colossus DLC! Wait a minute, what am I talking about? Holy shit, it's a Shadow of the Colossus DLC! Luckily, he's not that big of a problem. At least not as big as the kid's hiccups that apparently brings on God's wrath that's so bad that Jorgen has to come in and take care of it. Or does he? The answer is no. It's just the anti-fairies and pixies teaming up. Wait, what? Why the hell would they team up? I get that they're both after the same thing and plan on accomplishing that goal in the same way, but they both want to take over the universe. That's one goal you can't really share. And even if you could, why would you want to? Not to mention that they're both evil. Even if they do take over the fucking universe, they'd both be checking behind their backs to make sure the other stays in line. This sounds like a terrible idea for absolutely everyone involved. Ugh. Getting back to wherever the hell I'm watching. Cosmo, Wanda, and Jorgen get back to where they once belonged to find Timmy, probably just as confused as I am over what just happened. Luckily, Wanda's maternal instincts, wow, that's one hell of a Deus Ex Machina, or complete bullshit you choose, sends them to anti-cosmo's castle. I feel like they could have probably guessed that one. Good thing Timmy has a plan. The plan that is not to just wish that they had the baby and instead dress up like kindergartners on Halloween and get caught so that they wouldn't have their wands and therefore not be able to perform their magic. Then to use his sword that was for some reason not confiscated to cut their way out of their prison. Then use Wanda's maternal instincts to pick which door the baby's behind, which again they probably could have just guessed. Then overhear the two morons explain their plans to each other, which they both already know, so why are they explaining their plans at all? Which is to use the magical blah 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 to train the magical blah 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 to the magical blah blah blah, and boom, universal domination. Trust me, it makes a lot less sense than that. Then Timmy's plan is to have Wanda then feed the kid to have him burp the machine into destruction, then have Jorgen dance the baby into giggling up a ton of bunnies only to have him cry the bunnies into a huge killer bunny, then use Cosmo's burrito to have the squirt Adam Sandler their way into fixing everything. Jesus! Be careful what you feed this kid! Sadly, Jorgen takes a thing away to teach him how to control his magic better with his new wand given by Jorgen. Man, that would have been useful about half an hour ago. Thank God Wanda and Cosmo tricked Jorgen into taking the fake baby. We'll be back next week when Jorgen finds out, comes back, and takes a real one. But until then, they have a baby to name and find out the sex of. The gender's easy.
It's a boy, because boys love water squirters!
That is sexist and stupid. The name's even easier.
I'm partial to little T. But how about poof?
Well, if it worked for Pokemon. And we end on a scene ripping off another terrible Nickelodeon episode. So that was Fairly OddBaby. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm not going to pretend that this is the worst Nick has to offer. I still fear modern SpongeBob. But this is still really bad. The plot is nonsensical, the characters are even dumber than usual. It goes against all rhyme and reason, and worst of all, it's just not funny. Its over-reliance on running gags that weren't funny to begin with, most of which I simply chose to ignore, and terrible bodily humor really went against the quality of comedy that we've come to expect from the Fairly OddParents in the past. Not to mention the nothing of a character that Poof is, which is fine, he's just a baby. But that's why you can't make him the focus of an entire episode. There is nothing in his life or personality to focus on. Plus, it's just a waste of Tara Strong's talent. All I can say is that let's pray the writers don't introduce another terrible character.
What do you want me to say? I know a lot of words because I just ate a dictionary.
One catastrophe at a time. I'm the Animated Reviewer. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you there.
You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You want my love, you want my heart, and we will never, ever, ever be apart. Oh,
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power. Power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe.